want to move POV sports. My vision is just to move it into the next round with analytics and just giving you different sports that people don't talk about.
Don't nobody come to your house and try to take food off your plate. No. Fall out on three. 1, 2, 3. Fall out. 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 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Bring it down.
It's Shores Radio Live. The POV Sports Show.
It's Shores Radio Live with Donnie O, debuting tonight with something that's been in the works for quite some time, and finally the stars, planets, and the sports world has aligned. It's Shores Radio Live and POV Sports.
What's up, Donnie O? Just sitting here thanking God for the opportunity, man, and thanking you for the chance to just put it out there and try to move this brand into a new level. And we just want everybody to listen in and just enjoy the show, and hopefully we can give you some things you didn't know. Hopefully you can call in and give us some stuff that we may didn't know. It's all about enjoying each other and just enjoying the world of sports. That's what I'm all about.
Definitely, man. Now, before we get into the topic of sports, just share with the listening audience a little bit about yourself.
Devon Mason, they call me POV Sports, born and raised in PG County, attended Suitland High School, attended PG Community College where I got a study in mass communications with a focus on broadcast journalism, received a degree in that, attended Bowie State University where I got my BA in that as well, in broadcast journalism with a focus on sports. I also did a lot of writing for the military with the overseas troops. Became sports writer for those guys for about 7 years. I wrote articles every week for them to send over to Bahrain, Afghanistan, different places over there where they, didn't get a chance to see a lot of sports. I was able to keep them abreast on things that were going on over here in this world. I'm married with 6 kids, beautiful wife, Myra Latia Mason, and just happy to get this opportunity to have this forum that my good brother Donnie O has given us, and just want to move POV sports. My vision is just to move it into the next round with analytics and just giving you different sports that people don't talk about, with your tennis and your Euro soccer and your cricket and your water polo. I watch all that. So a lot of that stuff that people don't talk about daily, I'm going to bring it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you answered my next question, and that was what's the vision for POV Sports, but you answered that already. So let's jump right into it, man. Let's jump right into the NBA free agency. And, man, a lot of movement goes on. Every summer there's a lot of movement going on, and it's highlighted even more so this summer because you have the salary caps exploding, which opened a lot of eyes for a lot of people and not understanding now the marketplace has more value, but not necessarily the players fit that value. Speak on how the NBA has that frenzy has occurred because of the explosion of the salary cap, and it's going to explode even more so next summer, and then the movement of the players. So speak on that just a touch, and then we'll talk about specifics within the NBA free agency.
Yeah, what's crazy about the whole NBA free agency, their cap went from $70 million to $94 million in one off season, meaning you can now have 4 max players on your team instead of the 2 or 3 that is normally afforded. Now you can go get 4. If you got 4 guys willing to sacrifice a little and not make the 28, 30, and take 22, you can fit 4 max players in to a salary cap and still have enough to pay your other 11 guys to build your roster. So I think with the whole collective bargaining agreement, with that being the way it is, you're going to see these super teams continually happen until they fix that. This whole super team thing isn't going anywhere because you'll have guys teaming up every year. Every year you'll be like, we can afford to get together because I don't want to make $30 million anymore. I want to win a ring. So we can take less money and put this together and try to go through a 2 or 3 year window and option out. If it don't work, we can option out and go to another team. So I just think the way the collective bargaining agreement and the way the cap is exploding every year is going to keep this super team thing, the super team era, buddy ball era, whatever we want to call it, is going to be here to stay, which I'm not a big proponent of, but it's going to be here to stay because of the way the money is being, the TV deal, $24 billion.
Right, yeah.
$24 billion TV deal. That's crazy. That's unreal money. And then I don't know if you guys knew, but the league had to give the NBA had to give the teams $131 million back because they didn't pay them all the money during the season.
Right. Yeah, that's another point. Yeah, great point right there.
So you add that in, then I'm hearing it's going to be $250 they got to give them back next year.
Wow.
That just gives you more money to go get the players you really want.
That's a lot. That's a lot of bread right there. And you talk about what the NBA has, what 450 players, I think it is.
450.
Total, and they're cutting that pie up. I tell you, I got to say that the National Basketball Players Association, man, they're incredible. That's an incredible group right there to cut that deal and make that happen. You know what I mean?
Yep. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Is that Michelle Beadle?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Michelle Beadle runs that. She came in and she came in and did a lot of stuff fast. I was impressed with the way she made some moves that they had been trying to make for years and couldn't make, and she did it overnight. It seems like.
You took the words right out of my mouth, man. I was about to say they've been trying to do this for years, and she come right in and boom. You know what I'm saying? So, anyone who says that a woman can't come in and take charge and make things happen, there's an example right there, you know?
Exactly. It's just amazing that she was able to walk in, and I think she's been in charge 2.5 years, maybe 2 years now. And in 2 years, the cap went from 61 to 70 to 94.
Wow.
$94 million in 2 years. That's and it's going to go up to 102 to 108 next year. They haven't made a definite number, but they're expecting it to go between another 8 to 14 million next year, which is a definite.
Unreal.
Plus the money you get back. Plus the money you get back.
Dig it. Sure. Now, speak on some of the players, because, obviously you got the Ben Simmons and Brandon Ingrams of the world and whatnot. But for you, as far as different teams, who are the winners and the losers with the draft? You got the young guys because you got the summer leagues and whatnot, and also with free agency as well.
Okay. As far as the draft, I think the Sixers, Ben Simmons is a guy that I've always been high on. I scouted him in high school. I've seen him play, and I always wondered why he doesn't push himself more to shoot the ball. And the crazy part about his jump shot is he has great form. He doesn't take enough to gain any confidence in the shot, which is why when you watch him play, he's always looking to pass. I think last night he had 8 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists in a summer league game. And in the same game, you had Brandon Ingram, who I think is going to be an absolute stud because of his ability to score from the perimeter, his ability to score around the bucket, and then his length. He's like 6'10", with a 7'7", 7'8" wingspan when he stretches out. So I think those two picks were definite picks that those teams had to make, and I believe both of them overall will be franchise-building pieces. I think Ben Simmons will be a guy that I don't know if he'll ever be the number one guy, but they're hoping that. I think he's more of a number two, and I think Ingram is more of a 2 or 3 on a roster. But I think they're both safe picks, and I believe both teams, the Lakers and the Sixers, did their due diligence in making sure that they drafted the best available player at that time in the draft. I just think those two were 1 and 2. Now, I was never high on a Buddy Hield. I thought New Orleans made a stretch by trying to bring in him because he can shoot the ball. And I just don't believe he's a guy that – he's more of a catch-and-shoot guy. He doesn't create his own shot. He doesn't defend well. He doesn't make people better. So I was a little shocked that New Orleans picked him so high. I was also very impressed with some of the moves that I thought that some of the guys that went in the second round were better than a lot of his first-round talent. I thought Deontay Davis, who got a 4-year – Deontay Davis today signed the biggest second-round deal ever, 4 years, $3 million. $4 million, 3 years. No deal has ever been that much for a second-round pick ever.
Wow.
So he gets and also he won't be restricted on how much he can make on his next contract because the team has his bird right. So he'll be able to make as much as he can make without restriction once his first contract is done.
Man, that's incredible. Because a lot of second-round guys, they're lucky to even make the squad, so much less get a contract like that,
Exactly. He got a guaranteed deal because the way they did it, he's going to get his money, and that's amazing. So you can almost see that the team that drafted him really thought of him as a first round pick for him to do that for them to do that. He was a first round talent that somehow slipped into the second round, and that happens. A lot of those guys. Look at Draymond Green, first round talent, slipped into the second round. But just sometimes teams you don't fit what a team is looking for. When it comes up to that particular team, they have other guys they are really looking at, and they overlook you. And then 2 or 3 years down the line, they regret not making that pick because they see that you've blossomed into this kind of player that could have really fit what they needed on their particular team. So now, as far as I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, finish up your point.
Now, I was saying as far as free agency goes, in the NBA, you were asking what teams I thought did well and what teams didn't. I'm still a little flabbergasted by the Chicago Bulls. I'm just completely shocked that they brought in Rondo, Wade, and Jimmy Butler, 3 guys that honestly shoot with no range. And they're not guys that stretch the floor, so you're going to have 3 guys kind of trying to fight, in my opinion, for the same space on the floor. Rondo doesn't look to score, but he orchestrates his ability to pass the ball from the same spots that Wade usually gets the ball. And you look at Butler, he's the guy that slashes somewhat the same way Wade does. Now, for them to work, they're probably going to have to play Marotic or McDermott more in that offense to keep the floor stretch, to keep the floor space, because teams won't ever worry about them shooting the ball. They'll just clog the lane because they have no range shooting.
Yeah, so they'll force them to shoot from the outside.
Exactly, because they don't have any range shooting, because they're like, well, Wade and Rondo are the second and 6th worst three-point shooters since 2004 in the NBA.
Wow. Wow, yeah. That definitely spells disaster, possibly, Fortunately for them, though, they're in the East, so, they could get in the playoffs and, they won't make much noise. But, just because of how the East is, I guess it's not as bad as it looks on paper. However, like you said, you got 2 guys who, fighting for that same space, kind of play the same way. McDermott, like you said, just piggybacking on what you said, could see it spell a lot of minutes. Dunleavy would fit in well with them, of course, but, he's going to Cleveland. So, it's gonna be wild in Chicago to see what happens there. What do you think? What do you think about what's going on out west with Durant and Golden State and OKC and the Spurs out there?
My take on the whole Kevin Durant going to Golden State is, I had been reading since 2010 that in the 2010 that World Championships, when he played with Iguodala and Steph Curry, they were talking about becoming teammates then. Steph Curry was Warriors, I believe. Durant was OKC, and Iguodala was still in Philly, I believe, at that time.
Oh, okay.
And they were all discussing possibly joining one another. They said they became super close, hung out together, worked out together, ate together the whole time they were at the World Championships. Then I heard again in 2012, they were back at it again, hanging out, eating, and doing the same thing. So I had a feeling at the end of Game 7, when the Thunder lost to the Warriors, I told my wife as we were watching the game, I said, the way Durant and Westbrook do press conferences, usually they leave together. This particular time, Westbrook walked out on his own and Durant didn't move. He just watched him leave and had a look of almost disgust because Westbrook refused to give credit to Steph Curry for making tough shot after tough shot over length, over size, and over every defender that guarded him for Oklahoma City. And that's serious, especially the last 3 games. He never gave him credit. He kept saying he made shots over our bigs. And Durant said, no, he made shots over everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody that guarded him, he made shots on us. That's why they're moving on and we're not.
Right.
He would not give Curry any credit. It was like he laughed at him after Game 4 on the defense question when Durant gave the diplomatic superstar answer that you give when you respect your opponent. Westbrook. Yeah. And I think, in a way, Durant being the kind of guy he is, I think that wore on him a little. And I'm going to go back to the regular season. It was a game on ESPN. They played the Clippers. and they had a 17-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and in LA. And I watched them completely melt down. Now, they had the most fourth quarter blown leads all year.
Yeah.
But this particular night, it was a look of disgust on Durant's face at Westbrook when they were up 17 and they ended up being down 3 with a minute and something to go. And he comes down and he takes this three-pointer falling out of bounds, and Paul gets the rebound, throws it to the other end, and DeAndre Jordan gets a dunk, puts him up 5. Now the game's over. And I looked at Durant almost like, I'm the best player on this team. Even if I don't get a shot, get me the ball so I can make everybody else's life easier. And the look of just constantly dealing with that for 8 years, it's like, I just don't think, I think in a way he wanted to stay, but I think they also met, from what I'm hearing, with Nick Collison as well. And Westbrook, I believe, probably hinted to Durant that he didn't know if he was even coming back after next year. So I think in turn, Durant said, well, I'm going to do what's best for me and not what's best for everyone else. I'm just going to go and join a team that fits my skill set to a T. I'm comfortable with them guys, and I like the way they handle each other on the court and away from the court. So I think that was the big reasoning for him leaving Oklahoma City. I think he just feels at 28, 9 years going into my 10th year, 1 MVP, 4 scoring titles, no ring. They don't remember you unless you get a ring. The numbers don't mean anything unless you get a ring. So I think that was his main. And I think at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of the super team, the buddy thing, but he took a better job, because I think he looked at, like, their nucleus is Draymond, Clay, and Curry. All them 28 or younger. Are the Thunder really going to be able to take them guys out consistently to get to the finals? Because they're not going anywhere in Oakland. They're going to be there for a while. So will we have to go through them every year to get to where we got to go, as well as maybe go through the Spurs as well, because they're not going anywhere either? So we're going to have to beat both of them to get to where we got to go.
Pretty much.
And I'm 28. I don't have a whole lot. I have time, but I need to go win. I've been in this thing 10 years, and I don't have anything to really show for it. So I think that was a lot of his reasoning for joining up with them guys and seeing if he can try to break through and get that elusive ring that he's been avoiding him for 10 years now.
Wow. That's some great insight right there. We're going to jump into some Wimbledon talk. Serena doing it again. But we're going to take a break and pay some bills, and we'll be right back. Well, actually, Devon will be right back. I'm about to scale up out of here, man, and it's all you, man. Again, welcome to It's Yours Radio Live, man, the POV Sports Show, man. I'm just so excited about what's going on and the things that we have planned and everything that you bring to our platform. And I'm just super excited, man. So we're going to take this break, and then it's all you, bro. All right?
Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot. All right, POV Sports will be back in about 30 seconds.
Are your kids tired of sitting around doing nothing after school? Mom, I'm bored. Then get them involved in organized sports. Maybe they would enjoy scoring goals on the soccer field or running bases on the baseball diamond. Whatever sport your child chooses, it will keep them active and healthy. They will earn the importance of teamwork and social and leadership skills. And nothing is better than some fun-filled competition.
Mom, I scored a touchdown today.
Allow your child a chance to display all their talents and give them something worthwhile to do after school. Get them involved in organized sports. We have a whole list to choose from. We look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions, just give us a call at 1-800-987-TEAM or look us up on the web at www.youthsports.com.
I'd like to welcome you back to the POV Sports Show. It's your man POV Sports here, bringing you all the sports reports and knowledge of the weekend and of the last couple of weeks. I want to jump right into the Wimbledon, which just finished up this morning over in London, England. I want to go with Serena Williams, who won her 22nd Grand Slam. Her 22nd Grand Slam, which ties her with the great Steffi Graf and puts her only 2 behind the great Margaret Court for #1 all time. In her illustrious career, Serena Williams has won 7 Wimbledons, 6 Australian, 6 U.S. Open, 3 French Opens. She has 302 Grand Slam wins, putting her only 4 wins behind the great Martina Navratilova for number 1 all time. She defeated Angelique Kerber, the same woman who defeated her earlier this year at the Australian Open in Melbourne back in January. She returned the favor and took her out in straight sets yesterday at the All England Club in London, England. Her and her sister Venus also became champions again, winning their 14th Grand Slam doubles title in 14 tries in Grand Slams. They've never lost a Grand Slam final as doubles partners. Amazing. And they also became the 2 oldest females to reach the semifinals of a Grand Slam event by both reaching this year's singles of the Wimbledon Open, of the women's Wimbledon. Amazing. Kerber ended up beating Venus, who Serena ended up beating for the championship yesterday morning. On the men's side, Andy Murray won his 2nd Wimbledon title in 4 years, beating Milos Raciano, the first Canadian to ever make a men's final in any of the Grand Slams. The first one ever. He beat him in straight sets. He also beat Novak Djokovic 4 years ago, 2013, in straight sets to win the first Wimbledon of a British-born player since 1936. Since 1936. I will say, I still think Novak Djokovic is the greatest player right now in tennis, but Andy Murray has something working at the All England Club where he's from. I think at the end of the day, Serena Williams will be the greatest tennis player to ever play, and I believe she's just great. I mean, just when you watch her play, her power, her ground strokes, her ability to handle pressure, to handle the big moment, to handle big shots, big points, she just seems to thrive in those moments. And I'm just so happy to see her continually get better each and every time she steps on the court. As far as the U.S. Open is coming up at the end of August, early July in Flushing Meadow, New York. The favorites will be Novak Djokovic and Serena Williams. They'll be the 1 seeds going in, and they'll be the favorites. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Want to jump into a little bit of Euro soccer. We have France and Portugal playing for the Euro Cup today, for the Euro title today as we speak. France beat World Cup 2014 World Cup champion Germany 2-0 at Stade de France on Thursday to advance to today's championship against Portugal, who are led by Cristiano Ronaldo. And in my opinion, he is the second best player in the world behind Leo Messi. He's trying to break through for his country and win something on the international side and not just have accolades with his team club, Real Madrid. France is led by Griezmann, who's one of the best players in the world as well. As far as the Copa America goes, Chile defeated Argentina in the Copa America finals, keeping Messi winless in major tourneys. The great ghost of Maradona still lives on for Messi, as he has not been able to duplicate the success that Maradona had with the Argentinian national team, winning the World Cup in '82 and winning numerous Copas Americas titles as well. Messi has all the accolades there is to have as a professional soccer player as far as Barcelona CF goes, Barca, but he has nothing to show for his international time with Argentina as far as winning major tourneys. We have a little bit of baseball we want to get into today as well. I want to mention that the ML pennant races are heating up, and you know that means the San Francisco Giants, who've won 3 World Series titles, 2010, 12, and 14, they've won them all in their even years. This is 2016, and right now they sit with baseball's best record. The Cubs, who started out so hot this year and looked like they were going to win 100 games, have lost 9 of 10, as the pitching of Lester and Arrieta has failed them the last few times out. They seem to be struggling now without Kyle Schwarber, who was lost to a torn ACL the first week of the season. And it just seems like Joe Madden has to figure out how to get the mojo back in the Windy City for a team that was really looking like a World Series contender, and they still are, but they have to fix some things to get back to the level that we saw them start out the season at. I'm a Nationals fan, but as a Nationals fan, I don't trust them. I think they're missing something that will help them win a World Series. I like the Dusty Baker hire, but I don't think that hiring him is going to get them over the hump. They're missing a bat. I'm not a big fan of Ryan Zimmerman. I think the time for him passed a couple of years ago, and I think for them to get over the hump, they'll need to go out and add a Ryan Braun or Carlos Beltran, another bat to protect Bryce Harper a little bit more, and Daniel Murphy has been wonderful as well. As far as want to jump into a little NFL training camps open up at the end of this month as all 32 teams report to camp between the last week of July. Between the last week of July and the first week of August, they will all be in camp preparing for the 2016-17 NFL season. The prohibitive favorites going into the season are, of course, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Steelers, and the AFC. In the NFC, you have the Packers, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, and the Panthers are probably the prohibitive favorites going into the season this year. I saw that there's been a lot of suspensions for substance abuse issues as far as Rolando McClain from the Cowboys and DeMarcus Lawrence from the Cowboys and Randy Gregory from the Cowboys. And you have Le'Veon Bell dealing with a suspension as well, the running back for the Steelers. And it's just unfortunate that these guys haven't learned that there's no way around you taking these drugs, and you have to be, when you're being tested, you're gonna get caught. I just never understood why guys continually do that, knowing that they're going to be suspended for it. It's just absolutely amazing to me. And at some point, guys have to just start being accountable for it and stop saying they didn't know that they took things when they know they did most of the time. College football season is coming up as well. It's starting up in September, as well as Pop Warner, high school football, and Little League football. We will be giving you, on this show, we will be having updates around the state of Maryland and other places with high school football, Pop Warner football, and everything about it. We will be touching that weekly on the show. I'll be at different games throughout the weeks, and I'll be reporting and giving a rundown on this POV Sports Show on Sunday nights. And we just want to say thank you for tuning in today. And I just wanted to give you a rundown and let you know what we're going to do. We're going to have plenty of guests. We're going to have coaches, and we're just going to have a good time weekly and get different points of views. A lot of buddies that I know that are sports guys, I'll be having them come on and talk and give their point of view on what they think is happening with some of the stories that are going on in sports. And just want to give a shout-out to my man Dondre Donio Phoenix for this great forum, for this great opportunity. And like I tell my wife all the time, look at God, and we working. We're going to push this thing to be bigger than big. And I just want to say thank you. And I want to say tune in tonight at 9 o'clock as we release the show, and just tune in and enjoy it. And I hope that you enjoy it. I hope you come back again and continue to follow us and support us, and as we make this movement on IssueRadioSports.com. Thank you for everything, and y'all have a good Sunday evening and a blessed week. POV Sports is out. Thank you very much.
They do not come to the aid or defend or promote and go after these rogue predators.
That's what is such a disturbing part of this case. Denigration of African-American women.
It doesn't matter whether you report it now or later. Rape is rape.
A police officer's word is treated as the truth, and everybody else, the common man, is discredited.
He embraced his whiteness, that he embraced that patriarchal power structure. He embraced the power of his badge.
He knew that his badge would cause an air of intimidation along these women.
Are you surprised that national media has essentially ignored this trial?
No. This is a really taboo trial.
It is time now that we stand up and say enough is enough, and it has to end.
After 45 hours of deliberation, over 4 days, former Oklahoma City officer Daniel Holtzclaw has been convicted of raping and sexually assaulting 8 of the 13 black women who had accused him.
I don't understand why mainstream media is ignoring this. And I would say to all those black journalists who are working at cable news networks, what the hell are y'all doing? If you're hosting a show, Don Lemon, how are you not covering this? How are you not covering this story? A cop allegedly raping 13 women? Yeah, I think somebody can find time on the 24-hour news cycle to cover this story.
Listen to Knowledge Talk each weekday from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. on It's Yours Radio Live.